Okay, so let me open my editor. I'll share my screen. Right. So today we are going to talk about tables, right? So it helps us in organizing the contents in a formatted manner. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the new HTML page, save as tables.html. I'll copy the basic code. Right. So this is the code which is I'm left with. Right. So table, what is table? Table is, as name specified, is something which helps us in formatting our data into the tabular form, right? So syntax, let's talk about syntax, the tags and elements which we can use in tables. So tables, if you can see the table, right? So this is the table. For example, if I talk about student ID, student name, student name, student address, right? So this could be 3 columns. Then we will have some information. For example, Charlene. For example, ID can be 101. Name could be Charlene, right? Address could be Delhi, India, right? So this is my rows, and this is also my row, but this is my header row, and this is my normal content row. Does it make sense? Right? Similarly, I can have multiple rows, but I will always have only one header. Right? So we have to see a way where we can segregate these two things. So this would be considered as head of my table, and these rows would be considered as body of my table. Right? Make sense, everyone? Now inside this head of the table, we also have row, right? So next thing is row, right? And inside the body of the table, we also have rows. So rows are common in head of the table and in body of the table, right? Then we have in row of header, right? We have the headings, right? Or these are also columns, but these are header columns, right? So inside row, we have an header column, right? And inside the normal row, we have the simple column info or column values. Make sense? So we have divided our table into header and body. Header is again divided into row and the header columns, right? And row is this, columns are this. Okay, now let's draw this. So we will have one table tag to, so we have a table, right? Now inside table, we have first of all header, right? So that is depicted by T head, and then there is a body. So one body tag. Make sense, everyone?
Yes, it does.
Yes, sir.
Now we have our row in both the things. So a row tag, TR means a row, table means table, T head means header of the table, T body means body of the table, right? And inside row we have headers, like headers could be your ID, name, address. All right. Any questions? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Now inside this body, we have a row tag, right? So every row would be represented by this tr tag, right? And inside this tr, we have three columns, right? So first column, second column, and third column. So TD would be 101. TD, second TD would be my name, Shalin Agrawal. And third TD would be Delaney. Then there would be second row, right? So I'll go 102 slash US. Could be other row, TR 103. You could be James, again US, right? So if I go and check in HTML page, then we will see the result. So let me just open it. Let me remove this stuff from here. Right? So you can see this as a table. Any questions? Any doubt?
No question, no doubt. But how, like, it seems like to someone it might see a simple plain text while the table lines are hidden.
Okay, so we will add lines. I get it. That is more of the CSS part, but we will add it. Anyone, any questions in the table? Show it over here, inspect. Or what we can do is, so I will not cover in detail. We will talk about CSS and then we will discuss how to make this work. But as of now, you can see, right, there is something called as style, right? So this is a style which represents your CSS tag. This is a CSS tag basically. And here for my TD and TH both, what I want a border of 1 pixel, which is solid, right? So here you can see this is my border added to the table. So the reason I showed you is we can add borders using CSS, which is right now out of scope. So once we will discuss the CSS, we will come to how to style your table, right? So to make it more better, you can add as much CSS as you want over here. Like for example, I will add the width %, right? So this has covered the whole thing. Right. So quickly make one table Don't worry about the CSS. We will discuss how this thing is working in after a couple of topics, right? So please make one table. You can make the table about country and capital. Show country, capital as the two columns and depict some data in the tabular form. Is my question clear?
Hello, sir. This is for almost. I am done.
Okay, please share your screen. Okay, show me the code. Perfect. So why you have added 2 times the doc type HTML? Okay.
Thank you. That was a mistake.
Okay. Okay.
Can I stop my sharing?
Yes, please.
Can you show your browser, brother?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, thank you.
Can you share your code?
Me, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the result.
Okay. Okay. Okay then. So let me show you something very interesting. Okay. So what if you want to add? So right now my table looks like this, right? So I have this much of data in my table. What if I want to merge these two columns, right? So we have these two columns, James and US, and I want to merge these two columns into one column. I don't want to give two columns instead of this. So what I can do is I can simply use the attribute called as call span, right? This takes a number as an input and this asks you the number of columns you want to merge. So for example, I want to merge this column and the next column. So I'll simply say call span 2, right? So what really happens if I give call span? You can see this, both these columns are merged as a single column.
We can't see the browser. This just
Okay.
shows the codes.
Okay. Let me share my screen completely. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this is how your two columns are merged. Right? So call span basically starts from the column, you add it, and it will merge the next number of a specified column. So for example, over here, if I want to merge, so this was my code, but let's say I want to merge all the 3 columns. So I'll give my call span over here and we'll say 3. Right? So this column would be merged with these 2 columns and this is not required now. Right? You can see all the 3 columns are merged.
Sir, if we go for vertically merge.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
Now I want to merge vertically as you asked. So let's say I want to merge it over here. So I will simply give a row span. Let's say I want to merge in the next 2 rows, right? So in the next 2 rows, I want to merge this column. So I'll give row span. Row spans will it merge it row wise, right? So you can see now this is merged. Right? So you can merge it horizontally or vertically. This is called as row span because you are merging 2 rows, and this is called as columns because you are merging 2 columns. You can merge 2 rows and 2 columns at the same time. For example, this, and I'll add call span also, right? Call span, let's say 2, right? So this is not required. I'll remove it. One is extra. Where is Delhi? This is also not required. So you can see things are merged. Any questions? Any doubt? Anyone?
No, sir.
So if you want to merge the columns vertically, go for row span. If you want to merge the columns horizontally, you can go with the col span. Vertically means you are merging two rows, column of two different rows, and col span means you are merging columns of two same, one same row. So can you quickly add col span and row span in your code which you have written just now?
Sir, I did it. I want to share the screen. This. Yes, I did the row span. And this is the result. Here.
Okay.
Mhm.
Can you show me the code?
Sure.
Scroll. Okay. Sounds good.
Sorry about delay.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to show my screen, but it's not fixed, so I need your help.
Okay.
This is the result.
So if you're merging a column, you have to remove the extra column. It's like you have given the extra, you have merged two columns, right? But still you are giving three columns in that particular row.
Okay, let's see encoding. So where should I remove that?
So remove one, at least one TD. Then you have three TDs, right? In
Yes.
that particular row. In that particular row, we have where you have added call span, not this one.
Okay, so
Right.
maybe this
Not
one.
this one, not this one. Where you have added. This is the row, right? Here you have added in one column a call span 2, right? But you are still giving three columns, three TDs, right? Inside that row, right? So you can remove one TD.
It should be this one.
Yes, because there should be only two columns, right? Two columns are merged. Then one extra column, it makes three columns total, right?
Yeah, yes.
Now,
Can you see
T-body is not required every time with every row, right? T-body comes only once, and
okay.
inside that your rows comes.
Okay, so now it's fixed, I think.
Yeah. Let's go to the next topic and the last topic of HTML as of now. So iframes. Iframes are not that popular in today's context when we talk about modern websites. They are pretty old concept. But if I have to talk about iframe, so iframe tag is basically used to add a particular window in your project, right? So for example, if you have to add a frame over here, right? So what you can do is you can simply use one iframe column with the SRC. Let's add an SRC of W3 schools only. Right. And if so, it is not loading. So you can see one iframe is added, one frame is added altogether for this w3schools.com. It is not working in as of now in this frame, but supposedly it should be. So the reason we use frames is to give one particular thing to a one particular section of your website. So here I just added one more frame of W3 in my existing project. This is not a popular concept. Modern frameworks has completely replaced this concepts with different other things. So I'll not stretch out on iframes much.
Okay, but what was actually the use of iframes?
Simple. If you want to add one more website in your project, just like an demo, right? It's like if you want to divide a frame into frame into something. This is your complete frame, but you want to give one frame to this particular section.
So,
Right. Not a
same
very
as
popular concept.
yeah, as we had like the other day, you showed the daily newspaper. It had different topics. Like it in one DOM, we divided different topics that we had. Right, there was one news with regard to Ukrainian conflict. There was one more with regard to another one.
Yeah, that's what they were not using frame in that side. They were using a different concept of, so
That's something
more like that, but could be one use case of frames. So basically what really happens is, let's consider you have 4 different websites, right? And you want to add all the 4 different websites into one single page, right? So that you can use frames. If you see here, the mandatory attribute is src, right? So you cannot play around anything about other than your different websites. So frames are dedicated for different working websites only, right?
yes, sure.
Okay, so this marks the end of all the important concepts of HTML. With whatever tags and elements we have learned in HTML, we can make a simple plain website using those tags, right? It just now we have to talk about how to add styles to your styles to your HTML pages. Does it make sense? So I think Sameem has developed a very beautiful website already using the tags which we have learned till now, right? Sameem, would you like to share your screen and show it to everyone what you have done? Algosoft, I think.
Yeah, this is the
Okay.
thing that, and after that, this one.
So you can see what he has done. He has made 2 different web pages. Now he has linked these 2 different web pages by what we have seen hyperlinks. And then on clicking of login button, he is going to a different page where he have used lists um, and hyperlinks, images, right? And in the go back, and he has used tables to organize this,
Table. Yeah, I use here it from table.
right?
Table, and also one more thing, the select. I don't know, it's belong to HTML or CSS, or option and select in here.
Yeah, that belongs to the HTML part.
HTML part.
Yeah, can you show the code of select to everyone? We have not covered as part of this.
Sure, sir. Why not? And here.
Okay, so how select is working? Select is basically a drop down box in your HTML. So basically you have one select. Now in the select, you will have multiple options. So he has added 2 options, 1 + 9, 3, right? So that is your select. Can you show the screen for everyone else? Right? This is how it looks. Right? So using whatever we have studied till now in HTML, you can make a plain, simple HTML web pages, link it together, and you can call it as a website. So what is website? Website is nothing but a combination of multiple web pages, right? Any questions, any doubt, anyone in whatever we have covered till now? There are n number of other elements available in HTML. It's not like we have covered only 50 to 60% of HTML elements. I've covered those which are very popular, which we are going to use every day. But there are n number of HTML elements. You just think of a functionality that you want to do it, there would be an element for it in HTML.
Should I stop sharing, sir?
Yes.
He said, "Be proud of you."
Thank you, Talan.
Okay, so what is CSS basically? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. Means you can add your styles to HTML page. What is styles? Like I added border today. Like I added a color yesterday, right? So all these are styles where I want to align my content, how my content should look like, what is the border color, what is the background color, what image should it look like, where should I float it, to the left, to the right, to the top, to the bottom, how to add spaces on the top of some HTML element, how to add space on bottom of some HTML element, right? All these comes through your styling, and styling can be introduced by using CSS. Now your styling can be added in three ways. We are going to cover all those three ways: inline styling, your styling using style element, and then your external styling, right? And can we add multiple styling files in the same web page? So we are going to cover all those things, right? So you can go through the basic CSS which is available, the what is CSS and all on internet, and come prepared. All right. So in the first class of CSS, what I'm going to discuss is the CSS, how to use CSS, and the different types you can add CSS in your web page, right? As I told you, there are three types. So I'm going to discuss all those three types, right? Then we are going to discuss about CSS selectors, right? What is CSS selectors? For example, I want to add a CSS to my paragraph, or to my heading H6, or to my divs, to my span. Then how I'm going to use those selectors, those. So the HTML elements in CSS are called as selectors. Okay. So we will see how to add different forms. For example, there is a Calibri form, there is a Times Roman, how to use those fonts differently in one single web page, right? So everything related to the styling, we are going to talk about CSS. This will make your website pretty. See, UI is one of the main aspect of any website. You can see in today's world, everyone is more focused on how your UI looks, right? And CSS is a very key factor to that. CSS is the only way to add the styling.
So one quick question, Shalin. When we have these websites, right? And then we got these web applications or mobile applications or desktop applications, or their UI same work same as we are like, for instance, we are using HTML for
Yes, everything is
website.
in HTML.
Okay, great.
Right? So everyone can start working on the HTML part of it, right? Not exactly the same. This is based on some framework, but we will try to make it in simple HTML and CSS.
So yeah, I mean, can we do same, like we can give like these or the inside?
No, we can't. That's JavaScript.
Okay, great.
We will do it simple things in this website, simple things, which is feasible in HTML and CSS.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Shalin.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Everyone. Have a
everyone.
good day.
Yeah.
Have a good day.